So I was thinking also like a little bit, what is your travel style when you travel with your family? Are you more of a Benji style or more of a David?
Well, neither, hopefully. A little more Benji in that I don't do itineraries and I don't do planning things, which is why somebody hands me an itinerary of a tour. I don't need to see it. You just tell me what time to go in the lobby. Like I'll be in the lobby. I'm that way now. I'm doing this like press tour thing, and I literally got in the back of a car. This happened a few weeks ago. I got in the back of a car, and the driver said Delta Airlines, and I don't know. And he goes, "But you're going to JFK, right?" I said, I have no idea. What they told you? I wasn't even sure. I packed a bag because I was assuming I was going to the airport. I got to the airport. I put my passport in the little thing, and I realized I had no idea where I was flying that day.
I believe that.
It's true. All I know is I get a text saying get in the car at 11:30, and I get in the car at like 12:15.
That's perfect. As long as you're on time, that's what matters. One of the things that I found so interesting, especially with the ending of the film of your character, is that we don't quite really know what happens with Benji afterwards. But you know, say and kind of similar to Succession, like we don't really know what happens to Roman. So I was wondering if you create theories for yourself of what happened with the characters once the story is over, because you know the audience does, and they
Yeah.
comment on it. So how do you deal with that?
Well, like here, I'll quickly say the Roman one because in that moment I sort of had my own idea of what I still haven't seen the last episode, but I think the scene is in Roman's last scene is ordering a martini at the bar, and I remember what that moment was to me and what I think it is. And I've heard people give some comments, and some seem to line up with mine. I heard Jesse Armstrong in an interview give his idea, and it was actually different than mine. And I've heard other people give ones. There seems to be a general consensus of what that moment was for him that I fully disagree with, but I also don't like to say what it is. I'll keep that to myself. Thank you. I have the same thing with this, with the end of the movie. I sort of have, it's not as, for me with what happened with Roman, because I think there's a lot of things happening at once and there's a lot of realization in that moment. I think with Benji, there's not a lot of realization, but I have my idea on what's going on for him in that moment. And I sort of have an idea of where his future is going. But that seems to line up with, I think, how most people think and how Jesse thinks. Jesse had a really cool idea about that last shot that he told me. It came up in the Q&A, and I said, I've never heard you say that before. And he goes, well, I don't know if it's right. He goes, I just thought it sometimes. He goes, the last shot of Benji at the airport says a real pain. That's it. He goes, I wonder if there's a reality where the movie starts where he met him at the airport. The movie ends there because they left. He goes, you see David go home. He goes, I always wondered if that last shot is in David's head. Like it's not really happening. It's just that David needs to keep Benji at the airport, because if he stays at the airport, then he's safe. He's in this transient sort of place where he can have these relationships that are not meaningful, but that he likes. And the idea is that if he goes home, he might not be okay. But if he stays there, so I thought that was interesting that there's a chance that that's all in David's head just to keep Benji safe. I don't know if it's right, but it was interesting.
Well, if the director came up with it, it must be a good way to go, right?
Maybe.
Well, thank you so much. Congratulations on the amazing work, and
Thank
congrats on the film. Thank you.